Hey guys, we're going to look at the practice sheet for the equations word problems, which is 4.6 at the bottom on the reverse side of the distributive property sheet you did before this one. So what we're going to do is click on that in Canvas. Yours is already printed out and you should have that with you with your notebook paper. And we're going to solve what did the math teacher say after spending 8 hours in the ice and snow. Sorry guys. So for each problem, we're going to label a variable x. So we're using x for all of them. Then write and solve an equation. We're going to find the equation in the column at the right. Find the letter of the equation in the box at the bottom that contains the solution to the problem. So for number 1, it says a set of 8 dishes or dessert dishes cost $20. What was the cost of each dish? All right, so we know that there's 8 dishes and they equal $20, but I don't know the cost of each one, but I do know each means we're trying to figure out the price of 8 of those. So when we don't know what that is, we put the variable. So now we have 8 times x equals 20. Now that looks really weird. That's why we don't use the time sign as the x anymore. So when we put that together, it's going to be 8x equals 20. So looking at our sheet, that's going to be letter B. So I'm going to put a B next to 1. And to figure out where it goes on the bottom, we have to solve it. So now I have a one-step equation. So this means multiply. So I'm going to do the opposite, which means divide, because I start on the side with the letter, and I got to get the letter by itself. So right now I'm multiplying by 8, so I need to divide both sides by 8. So those cancel out, leaving x. And 20 divided by 8 is 2.5. And since we're talking about money, $2.50 or $2.50 is how much each plate would cost, each dish. So at the bottom, I'm looking for $2.50, which I see down here, and that is going to be, like we said earlier, letter B. So I'm going to write a B here. All right, let's jump down and look at number 3, because I want you guys to have a few examples of different kinds. Number 3, it says Hans Klauber sells vacuum cleaners. He gets to keep 1/8 of his sales as a commission. How much must he sell in order to earn $1,000? All right, so we know he gets to keep 1/8 of his commission as his commission. So we have to figure out how much he would have to sell to earn $1,000. So we know he gets to keep 1/8 of. We know of means multiply. So we're doing 1/8 times something to give us $1,000. Because remember, a number next to a letter means to multiply. So multiply, we do the opposite, which is divide. So first, let's look at our equations on the right and figure out which one it would be. And I see that it's going to be letter R. So I'm going to put that next to number 3. And now we're going to go ahead and solve this. So number next to letter means to multiply. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1/8. So those go away, leaving x. And I'm going to divide this by 1/8. So I'm going to make this look like a fraction. So I'm going to do keep, change, flip. So I have 1,000 over 1, keep, change, flip. So that's going to equal 1,000 times 8. So that's going to be 8,000. So we are looking at him making $8,000 So looking at the bottom, that is going to be all the way at the end. So we're going to put an R. All right, let's look at one more. Let's jump to, let's do number 9. All right, it says, a chest was resting on the ocean floor 1,000 feet below the surface. It was lifted to the deck of a ship 8 feet above the surface. How far was the chest lifted? All right, so if we look at our problem again, the chest was resting at the ocean floor 1,000 feet below the surface. It was then lifted to the deck of a ship 8 feet above the surface. How far was the chest lifted? All right, so looking at that, we're at 1,000 feet below. So I know that's a negative number. And I know that it was lifted a certain amount all the way to the deck of a ship at 8 feet above. So I know that it was added to something to end up to 8 feet above. So looking at that, that would match letter R. So R is next to number 9. And yes, you will use some of these different letters different times, but they have different answers that go with them. So you'll see that in a minute. All right, so we need to solve this. So I know that if I'm adding to this, it's going to look like negative 1,000 plus x equals 8. So I need to do the opposite, which is add 1,000 to both sides. So that goes away, leaving x. And I need to add 1,000 to this side. So when I add that, it's going to be 1,008 feet. So that is going to be, looking at the bottom, at the end, so we're going to write another R. So again, you guys are going to do the other 7 that are left. Email me if you guys have any questions. Make sure that you're writing these out on paper. So there's 2 parts to this. You're writing the equation, so you're writing what the problem would be, and that's what you're looking for on the right. And then you're solving it with a 1-step equation on the second part, and then that answer is what you put the letter at the bottom with. So do your best. Let me know if you need anything, and I will see